A quote that has guided me throughout my 4 years of high school is, "They thought they could bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds." The summer before sophomore year, I took the time to become familiar with my identity. I attended the Chicago Pride Parade by myself, the furthest on the Red Line train I've ever been. The 2-hour trip there and back was a time of self-reflection from the past year. It was the first time I have felt self-love in months. The summer before sophomore year, I was called in for a meeting with my scholarship organization, the Daniel Murphy Scholarship, and my family. My mentor laid my report card on her desk. She asked me, "Jessenia, do you feel like these grades are representative of you?" I stared at my report card, filled with C's and D's. I was usually an A student, but my grades declined in the winter. I sadly shook my head no and burst into tears. I felt like a disappointment. I was reluctant to the idea of transferring schools. Once I started being honest and open about my hardship to the right people, I was surprised at their unimaginable support. I decided to transfer to GCE Lab School, a school that my scholarship organization recommended, a school that would provide a welcoming environment that catered to my learning preferences and desire for a diverse student body. My lesson learned from freshman year is to always ask for help and not to settle for less. I headed into GCE with a clear head, an open mind, and was very exhilarated to make new friends. I was ready to thrive instead of survive. I started the ripple effect of activism in my school when I decided to organize 20% of GCE students to attend a citywide student protest against gun violence. I communicated my plan and goal for student safety and experienced the school staff achieving consensus. Since then, the student body has become inspired to organize more protests about issues they are passionate about. This experience has contributed to my development of becoming real-world educated, from hearing students' personal experiences and advocating for change in our city. I began my Art Institute internship at the beginning of my junior year. Through my internship, I participated in exploratory art workshops with visiting Chicago artists and created various art media. I realized the importance of my culture, community, and artistic practices by meeting youth and professionals who are also passionate about storytelling. I became more confident in myself because I could depict my story through my art. In the summer before my senior year, I entered at a higher level than my last job at the Art Institute. I facilitated reflective art making studio sessions for camp groups. I also developed an hour-long interactive tour for 30 guests about the significance of Chicago neighborhoods and community with the Chagall windows. My bosses were astounded with how my tour engaged my audience, even though they all ranged in different age groups. I successfully piloted teen-led tours, which would become a signature experience for future interns. I had an epiphany after my tour. I truly fell in love with museum education. Working at the museum professionally prepared me for my future career. I believe that my job at the Art Institute is my unfinished work that was sparked during high school, because I definitely want to dive deeper than an internship. I decided that I want to become a museum curator in my future career especially because minorities are underrepresented in the museum industry. I felt like my voice was heard, even for being young and a person of color. I love teaching, I love art, and I love business. Why not pursue them all? So you may be wondering, where am I going now? So this news is very, very new. Literally just yesterday, I was notified that I earned the Chicago City Council Latino Caucus Scholarship, which is worth $5,000. Only 21 students were chosen by our Latinx alderman in Chicago. I'm sponsored by my alderman in the 10th Ward, Susan Garza. This news means that I will be pursuing art history at St. Olaf College in Minnesota on a full ride without any loans. I hope to gain more insight in museum education and eventually start a nonprofit art museum in my neighborhood. I was also recently accepted in one of St. Olaf's learning communities called Race Matters, where 17 students and I will explore the injustices of minorities through sociology and writing classes. It is the first year they are launching this type of program, so I'm thrilled to be part of this movement at a predominantly white institution. I am most excited to ride a plane for the first time, become fully independent, and study abroad in some artsy countries. Being a student at GCE has made me realize that I can use my diversity as an addition and asset to create a more inclusive culture anywhere I go.
Woo! Yeah!